Do you feel awkward talking to women and asking on dates? About 70 to 90% of our communication is through our body language. Hi, my name is Dr. Marie. I'm a registered psychologist and a coach, and I help men to become more confident in dating. And in this series, I will help you to really understand how all of these different elements, from your body language to your mindset to your self-esteem, your energy, how all of those impact your communication with women. But today we will specifically focus on your body language and how you carry yourself when you are talking to women. I will talk about 5 different aspects in relation to your body language and how to improve your communication through your body. And stay tuned until the end, because I will give you one specific tip that will really help to be more present when you are talking to women and have better connections. Some of the common mistakes that men make when they are talking to women when it comes to their body language. They might come too close, they might be too far away, they might be too fidgety, too animated. And all of that can communicate about your being really nervous. But of course, it could be about cultural differences too. In some cultures, people are more animated, and that's absolutely fine. Be aware, where does that come for you? Or is it because you're trying to cover up for being nervous? So let's start. Let's start with posture. Your posture is everything, how you carry yourself. It's about making most of your body. It is really about elevating yourself, because if you're hunched up, that communicates that you're insecure and you're not very comfortable with yourself. It is really about opening your shoulders. It is almost like in Pilates, where we're taught to really imagine that there's an invisible string that is holding your head upwards, and it's really about lifting yourself. And probably about 10 years ago, Amy Cuddy, who was a social scientist, talked about this power pose and how that impacts you. And if you hold your body upright, you may go and watch that YouTube video and check that afterwards. Because what it means is, like, essentially you're holding yourself up, you've got your shoulders high, but not to your ears, and you are lifting yourself up from the core of you and really holding yourself and making most of your height, essentially. Many men talk about how they are not tall enough for women, but this is really about embracing all of your body and making most of it. When you take this position, when you're entering a room, for example, you're immediately communicating about confidence. And this applies to when you're sitting down too, that you are not slouching, but it's really about having an open body language. Open, and that's inviting too. So you have to remember this. And you may practice this at home. Every time you notice yourself slouching, and whether you're playing video games or whatever you're doing, and if you're slouching, you remember to really open yourself up. This is good for your back, but it's also good for your communication. And number 2, we'll talk about eye contact. And eye contact is really meaningful, because we connected with our first caregivers through our eyes. That is the first way of connecting with another person. And it is that attachment gaze. People who are in the early stages of getting to know each other and in love, and they really spend a lot of time looking each other in the eyes. And if you find it really difficult to look into the eyes, this doesn't mean that you're staring, that you're holding the gaze for too long, but it is about really maybe just that for that extended period and then looking somewhere else. But it's really about seeing the other person. And when you are holding the attention and looking someone in the eye, that communicates that you are open. But if you're looking away a lot, or you're looking downwards, that communicates that you're not confident. Or if you're a bit shady, you don't want to look in the eyes because you've got something to hide. So eye contact tells so much about you and how you feel about yourself. So if you're struggling with looking someone in the eye, start with people who you feel the most comfortable with. Start by really noticing if you are always looking away or you're never making eye contact, and start practicing that, because eye contact is so important, and we make connection through our eyes. And then number 3 is about smiling, having that open body language and smiling and looking the person, the woman, in the eye. That is so warming and welcoming, creates the atmosphere of helping her to feel more safe. Women are always looking to feel safe. They are judging you by whether they feel safe with you or not. So having an open smile really invites the other person, and we are also programmed to respond to that. You may do this test where you are practicing, for example, just by yourself, a pen in your mouth that forces you to have a slight smile, and that actually elevates your mood. So the more you smile, the happier you feel in many ways, because it starts to develop these certain hormones in your body. Smiling is inviting, and it communicates again that you are someone who is friendly and it is safe to be around you, and it is a way to connect with her. Number 4, let's talk about personal space, and that is really important. So when you're getting to know someone, you need to be aware of the space between you two. Don't go too close, because if you're somewhere here, this is personal space. So when you're getting to know someone, you need to be in a perhaps sort of no closer than arm distance. And only by getting to know someone, they are inviting you to come closer. So if you come too close, that's too soon. And it's really only when you get to know someone, then you can come closer. But if you are too far again, that communicates that you're not very comfortable having someone in your space. So be mindful of the space you have between you two. The space also communicates about boundaries. So you need to be aware that if you are going too close, that would signify to her that you are crossing her boundary. Only when you've got to know each other, and then slowly you can go closer and see what her reaction is. So you need to be monitoring yourself and her too. So being aware of the space between you two. And only by reading cues, seeing, does she feel comfortable? Does she feel not comfortable? Then you know whether you can move in closer or not. And number 5 is your tone and your voice. Your voice communicates so much when you are talking to someone. If you speak too fast, that communicates that you are being nervous. If you are too slow, again, that might mean that you are not very comfortable in this situation. So you need to have a pace that is easy to communicate with, and your tone varies. You can communicate through your tone to her that you're interested in what she's saying. Being very clear is important, and all of these things you can learn. If you find yourself that you are perhaps shying away and you don't feel very comfortable within yourself, you can start by practicing even just in front of a mirror, and when you're talking to those people who you feel the most comfortable with. And then finally, here is my tip that will help you to feel more present when you are talking to women. For example, when you're standing and you notice yourself being a little bit nervous, what you can do is that you take a deep breath. You may do it in a subtle way. Remind yourself of pressing your feet firmly against the floor. So for example, when you're standing up, notice how you're pressing your feet against the floor, and notice how the floor is supporting you. You are connected to something. And this simple exercise, just with focusing on your breathing a little bit, can help you to bring your nervous system down and feel more present. You may do this, for example, before you are talking to a woman. You may just take a deep breath and really try to be more present, because that way you are more focused on being in the here and now instead of what exactly you're going to be saying. And I will talk about the communication part later on in the series. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you'll be notified of the other videos that will be in this series. So now I urge you to go and start practicing open body language, smiling, remembering the space, communicating with your body openly, and really holding yourself up. And this may mean that you also might do some physical activities that really help you to feel more in your body and more confident in your body. And remember, this is not about being perfect. It's about noticing if you start to slouch. Because you notice when you pick your body up and you are holding a really good posture, that will boost how you're feeling. So just notice how you're doing and keep practicing that, not just when you're talking to women, but in all situations. And you will notice that gradually you will start to feel more at ease in your body. So I hope you enjoyed this video and we will be back. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel.